Welcome, and today we're going to be talking about how to trust someone who's betrayed you. It's a very sensitive topic, one that many of my clients have actually lived through, gone through, are going through right now. And myself, I've experienced many betrayals in my lifetime. So what I want to share with you first is getting through a betrayal isn't about the other person. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but the deepest work that you can do around getting through a betrayal is to do the work on yourself first and to really see what is it that's causing me to attract a betrayal. Sometimes, if you're like me and you meet thousands of people every year, it's just a matter of, well, of course, percentages. Eventually, you're going to meet someone who maybe isn't fully trustworthy. And that's just the nature of being a global influencer. However, if you find in your personal relationships, in relationships with your children or your family or your friends, that you feel on some small scale regularly betrayed, or maybe on a big scale regularly betrayed, then you have to look at that pattern deep within you. Why is that coming up regularly? So let's take a look at the idea of betrayal today. So for most people, betrayal means that you had an expectation that someone would do exactly what you hoped they would do. And so, first of all, is that realistic for us to actually have an expectation like that? Maybe it is in certain circumstances, and maybe you had a very clear agreement with someone that you signed, like a business agreement, or maybe it was your, wife or husband or partner, and you had conversations about it and you both were completely clear about it. Then that's great, and you have those agreements. But for most people, one of the core reasons they feel betrayed is because their long list of expectations of the way people should behave is broken. And the reality is that every single one of us, including me, including you, does not behave in the way that another person wants us to all the time. So that is how our minds perceive betrayal. So it isn't in fact that the other person is doing something wrong. It's simply that your agreements are either not discussed beforehand and you've created preferences, you've created different things that allow you to say that person betrayed me. But when you really look at it, it is an expectation that maybe was unspoken. Now, if you had an agreement and it was spoken and you have all of the things in writing and that person has betrayed you in some way, it does help, first of all, to feel that betrayal on a very deep level, to feel it, to scream it out, to get it out of your body, to allow the grief to release. One of the things that is true is that if you don't ever fully grieve a betrayal, that same person ends up showing up in your life in a different body, right? Because you actually haven't let go of all the energy in your body and all of the things that allow you to then attract the very same thing into your life. So grief and the process of grieving is something that many cultures around the world honor and respect. But in North America in particular, we don't have rituals around grieving. We have a funeral, but we don't have actual processes for dealing with grief. So I think that that's very important for all of you out there. If you haven't fully done that, to go ahead and make sure that you have a process. Things like getting it out fully expressing your rage, your sadness, whatever it is, safely in your, in the quiet of your home is important. Writing a letter that will never get sent to that person, but just really how you felt at that moment. And then, I know this is going to seem challenging for some of you, but then you realize at some point that you must allow these thoughts and these feelings to be going down the river of thoughts and feelings. In other words, letting them go fully. I know one person in my life had said that she went to a counselor and she was telling the same story over and over again. And finally the counselor said, okay, I'm going to give you one more week to grieve this. And then after that, you have to promise me that we're going to move on. And we're actually going to do some constructive things to support you in the next phase of your life. And so we all know people who are victims to what happened to them for the rest of their life. And certainly as global influencers, we can't allow that to happen because our creativity is shut down if we never actually complete the grieving cycle. So if you, for instance, are writing a book, or maybe like me, you're writing a new talk, you're producing something new, if you get halfway through and you don't finish it, or if you can't, for some reason, your creativity just shuts down and you don't know what's coming out of your mouth next and you're blocked, part of the reason is that you have not completed the full cycle that needed to happen in order for you to go to your next level of creativity. So keep that in mind. This is a very, very important time. The betrayal, I know it sounds crazy, but really that person was a gift to come into your life, to support you to get to another level of your life, to have the experience, the gift of forgiveness, the gift of grieving, the gift of those human things that happen to us that allow us to raise our vibration and connect with real people who are having the same issues and give them hope that we have gone through that and we have experienced it as well. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, and to the right of that subscribe button, there's a bell that if you click it, you'll get notified on our next video. And if you'd like more information on these topics, visit KarenMcGregor.com. The Tao of Influence, my new book is coming out, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Leaders and Entrepreneurs. And I encourage you to take a look at that as well. Have a wonderful day, everyone.